Welcome to the Print It portion of today's webinar, and special welcome to some of you that might have not been on the earlier session, if there's any of you there. My name is Lori, and I handle marketing and partnership development for MCRL Overseas Group. And before I kind of jump into the whole printing part of it, I just want to say thank you, Tammy, for bringing this all together. So Tammy is one of our design partners, and I guess it was like maybe January, Tammy, that we were kind of brainstorming ways that we could better help authors understand how to get their files ready for a printer. And we thought, well, we could do like a formatting and printing webinar. And then Tammy was like, hey, like if we're going to be talking to authors about how to bulk print and set up their files for offset printing, then we really need to get Brian involved, because Brian can help them sell large quantities of their bulk printing job. And so it was a perfect mix. And Brian, Tammy, and I have been working together for the last couple of months, bringing this together for you. So what started as like a 1-hour webinar kind of morphed into this 4-hour master class. And I was really worried, oh gosh, are people going to be able to, sit for 4 hours and sign up? But we had a great response, and I'm really excited to be here. I'm really thankful to you, Tammy, for championing us, and Brian for joining us. So thank you. MCRL. So I've been working with MCRL for probably 6-7 years now. And what we do is we help authors offset print their book. We've been printing books for over 20 years. We love printing children's books and board books, but we print all sorts of books, art books, cookbooks, photo books, yearbooks, custom planners and journals, packaging, card sets, board games, you name it, we can print it as sort of our mantra. I'm located in Toronto, Canada, and our president and customer care staff are located in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. And then we do the bulk of our printing overseas in Asia. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You can talk to someone in your time zone and in your language, but you get to take advantage of the best pricing for bulk runs of your book. So that's MCRL Overseas Group. And then Board Book Printing is an offshoot. It's our sister company. And we just recognized in the last couple of years a little bump in sales of board books. And because board books are hard to produce, not many like POD printers can't do them, and not a lot of offset printers even produce board books, we decided it was the right time to actually spin off a whole company that just features board books. So you can go on to boardbookprinting.com and you can get an instant quote on your board book project. You can see all the cool custom features that are possible, and you can talk to a board book printing specialist. So our president, we've been doing board books for like over 10 years. Our president actually bought the URL boardbookprinting.com a decade ago, but it was just recently that we decided that it made sense to focus specifically on board books. So that's a little bit about me and MCRL. Now to talk about you and printing your children's book. So over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to cover these topics. We're going to start off, and I'll give you an overview of the differences, the pros and cons of offset printing your book and print on demand, digital printing your book. And so you can decide what's right for you and for your book. And then we'll have some fun looking at actual client examples of books that we have offset printed, so you can see what's possible if you go that direction. And then we'll close things off with an evaluation of quotes. So like any investment in life, it's good to get more than one quote, but not all overseas printers are created equally, and not every quote includes the same thing. So it's really important to know what to look for to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples when you're looking at different quotes. Okay, so let's start off with printing. Some of you might be familiar with the two different types of printers, and Tammy talked a little bit about it in her session. So you can go the digital printing or print on demand route, or offset, which is also called traditional or bulk printing. And there's technical differences in how your book is actually manufactured. So with digital printing, it's a commercial laser or inkjet printer that prints your book. So think of your printer at home. It's like a larger scale version of that to print books, whereas offset uses custom plates that transfer ink onto the paper. So it's a completely different way of producing your book. And there's pros and cons to both, and both are great. It just depends what's right for you. And it depends like what your goals are for your book, like what the vision you have for your book and the budget for your book. And then you can make the decision that is right for you. So I'm just going to lay out kind of at a high level the pros and cons of each. So for digital printing, a pro of going that route is that there's a minimum order quantity of 1. So if you, as you get an order, you print it and fulfill it, or if you need author copies, you just order them as you need them. So minimum is 1, and the turnaround time is obviously faster. So like it can be 2 to 4 weeks or less to get your books. The downside of POD is, as Tammy mentioned, you're limited in terms of the trim sizes that you can go with your book. Very few paper and cover options, and not a lot of finishes and features to choose from. And so that's the downside. And then versatility is kind of a plus and a negative in my mind, because while you can print author copies and you can use a POD platform to help you with your fulfillment and distribution, it cuts into your profit margin. So there's a listing and distribution fee that'll eat into how much money you make on your book sales. And then as you print more books, the price per book doesn't really change much. So it's a little bit more expensive to go that route, but you do have the flexibility of not having to pay upfront and to print your books as the orders come in. So as you can see from this slide, the benefits of the digital printing are kind of the drawbacks of offset and vice versa. So with offset printing, our minimum order quantity is 300. I am speaking for us. I think I can't speak for all offset printers, but I would think most would be 300 or 500 minimum. And that's because of the custom setup. Your book is actually specifically set up for your book, and it's a very labor-intensive and time-intensive process to get that set up. So it takes us, it doesn't really make economic sense for you or for us to print less than 300 copies because of that. But once your plates are set up and ready to go, we can print hundreds and thousands of your books really quickly from there. The turnaround time's more, so you do need to be cognizant of that and kind of backwards schedule, kind of use that nice timeline that Tammy laid out, because it can take 8 to 12 weeks to actually get your book, because it's printed overseas and the time for setup. But on the positive side, you're not limited. You can be so creative. You can come up with all, different unique sizes for your book. You can use lots of custom features and finishes that really make your book stand out and differentiate you from others on the market. Lots of different paper choices and eco options. So you're not as limited as you are with POD. And that gives you more versatility. And I say there's a plus and minus also in terms of versatility with offset, because you own your books, you order them, you're going to store your books, but that means that you have to find a place to put them in your house. And I have some different options for you on that, but it's nice to have them available for your promotions and your website orders. And Brian's going to give you lots of different ideas for how you can expand into different avenues that you probably never had even thought of for your book. And so it is really nice to have those books available for a good price to be able to do that. But you do need a place to put them. And then in terms of pricing, with offset printing, as you print more books, the price per book decreases. So you're maximizing your profit margin when you go the bulk printing route. So in a nutshell, the digital printing POD is great if you're looking for smaller, faster print runs with standard features. And then offset printing is great for larger print runs when you're looking for unique options and different features and finishes, and I'm really looking for that bookstore quality product. Nothing compares really to offset. It provides like a very color consistent look and very crisp images for your picture book. Sorry. So I know offset isn't for everyone, so I thought it'd be important to provide some information on the 2 most popular POD companies out there right now. You've probably heard of Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP, and Ingram Spark. So just a little bit of information on them. So KDP is Amazon's digital print on demand and distribution service. So they'll print, they'll list, they'll distribute your book via Amazon. So that obviously opens your book to a lot of exposure with Amazon's massive audience. And you don't have to pay upfront for publishing costs. But on the downside, you make a percentage of the sale of your book. And so you're making less money per book than if you were to bulk print and sell the book yourself. And Ingram Spark is similar. They're a large distributor. They're owned by Ingram, a big, large wholesaler, and they'll print, list, and distribute your book through Amazon. And then they have a broad network of like 40,000 retailers like Barnes and Noble and libraries around the world. So you do get exposure with them as well. And there isn't, the same thing. It's print on demand. So there's no upfront fee for publishing your book. Although if you do have to change your file after 60 days, if you notice something was wrong with your file and have to upload it, they do charge a fee for that. And then you make a royalty on your books. So they have a formula online, you can look at it, and it's pretty significant actually. So you're making a lot less money per book by going that route. You get exposed to a lot of audiences, but your profit will be less than if you're bulk printing and selling. So then this snapshot just kind of gives you, looks at some of the features that you might be interested in if you're printing a picture book, and look at and see which platform might be best suited to you. So as Tammy mentioned, with POD, your page count's 2, which is not a problem because most books are 24 to 32 pages anyway. With us, our page count is 4, with the exception of board books. Board books don't have a page restriction. So if you're looking for a softcover book, you could go the KDP route. They do full color softcover. If you're looking for a hardcover, your options are like an Ingram Spark does hardcover books, as well as offset. If you're looking for board books, you're pretty much stuck with not stuck. I mean, it's your best option is to go the offset printing route. Board books are, you do need specialized equipment, and you want an experienced company doing board books, just because they could peel or warp if they're not produced properly. In terms of page counts with KDP, the minimum page count is 24. With Ingram Spark, it's a little less, 18, and we don't have a minimum for offset printing. We already talked about trim sizes and finishes. In terms of color, KDP does have a premium color option for their low page count picture books. Ingram Spark has a variety of different color options to choose from, but you will get the best color quality and consistency with an offset press. Ingram Spark, Tammy had talked about end sheets. They do print end sheets, but their end sheets are not printable, so they're blank. You can't do any kind of branding or artwork on their end sheets. And they have dust jackets, but they're very limited in terms of the sizes that are available. Whereas with offset, you can be creative and do almost anything. I'm not as familiar with the POD companies as Tammy is, but I think, Tammy, would it be correct to say that Ingram Spark maybe has a better reputation for quality and maybe viewed a little bit more professionally in the publishing world than KDP?
I say they may have that reputation, but I don't agree with it with my experience. So some people might tell you that there are advantages of using Ingram Spark because they're part of the Ingram brand, and bookstores and libraries already have accounts and are used to working with Ingram. But the quality is largely the same. Sometimes I get better quality with KDP. It just they use the same type of printer. Sometimes they use the actual same printer. So you're going to get the same type of quality from both.
Okay, so it just depends what your vision is for your book. So my main message is if you are looking at producing a book as a source of income and to generate the maximum profit margin from every sale of your book, then offset printing does give you a better price, because as you print more, the cost of your book goes down. But I didn't want to just tell you that. I wanted to give you some evidence of that. So I went on to Ingram Spark's print and ship online calculator, and I looked at a standard 8x10 hardcover gloss laminate book with 24 pages, 70-pound paper, 120-point cover with their ultra premium, their top quality color option, and delivery to a New York postal code. And I gave the same specs to our team. And as you can see, this is the cost comparison. So you can really see the difference at the 300 level. The pricing between POD and offset is pretty comparable. When you look at the POD and Ingram Spark pricing, it's excluding their taxes and shipping and a bound proof. So when you add that in, it's probably pretty close to the $10. That is our fee. But as you print more, your costs significantly decrease. So by the point when you're after 500 copies, your price goes from $10 to $4.10 per book, which is pretty huge. And I can't speak for all offset printers, but when we quote, we include everything like your taxes, your tariffs, duties, a physical proof that you can flip through, and shipping to your door. And not all printers will include that. So I do have a whole section on how to evaluate quotes later. But I will bring up tariffs because I'm pretty sure that'll come up in the questions at some point because it's sort of a hot topic right now. And right now, knock on wood, children's books, published educational materials are not subject to the huge increase in tax and tariffs that have been recently announced. Should that change with us when we quote and you sign off on your quote, if anything changes, tariffs or shipping costs, we absorb that cost, not you. So you're not on the hook if things change, but that's one of the things that you really do need to know about when you look at other vendors' quotes. So that's that. So the good news in all of this is that if you like aspects of offset printing and you like aspects of going the POD route, they can work nicely together. You don't have to choose one or the other. Some authors will offset print their main print run for their book launch to maximize their profit margin and to have books available for some of the marketing opportunities that Brian's going to talk to us about. And then they'll also list their book on Amazon or Ingram Spark to get that exposure and reach a much larger audience. So if that is a direction that you're thinking of, just make sure you go with the trim size that will work with POD. Another option that might be interesting to you is to do a Filled by Merchant program on Amazon, where you list your book on Amazon, but you fulfill the order yourself from your own inventory that you've purchased. So that can also be an option. And then recently, we've been working really closely with Logistic Solutions. They're a third-party storage and fulfillment. So a lot of clients come to us and say, I really want to print with you, but I don't have room in my garage, or I want to spend more time growing my business and I don't want to spend so much time like going to the post office. So we can send your order direct to a third-party warehouse, temperature controlled warehouse, and they can store your book, they can pick and ship it. They have like an API integration with Amazon and a lot of the major e-commerce websites so that they can actually fulfill your client orders as they come in, and manage and track your inventory. So that's a really nice option if you are interested in going the offset route and just don't have room to store your books. So the next few slides, if it isn't clear to you now what direction you want to go for your children's book, I thought maybe these three questions might help clarify for you what the right way to print your book is. So the first question I would ask yourself is, what is the purpose of my book? So am I printing my book as a passion project for family and friends, or am I looking at printing this book as a business venture where I'm going to be generating revenue and income? Do you think you can print more than 200 copies of your book? And will you be selling your book on your own website? Do you need product available for book fairs and for strategic marketing opportunities? If the answer is yes to those questions, then definitely get an offset printing quote, and you might want to consider going that route. And then ask yourself, what kind of book are you wanting to produce? Are you envisioning a unique size book that isn't kind of one of the standard sizes that are offered? Are you doing a landscape book? Because POD has trouble doing landscape trim sizes. Board books, is it a board book? Then you're going to have to go the offset route. If you're looking for some really cool ways of engaging readers with textures on your book or cutouts, flaps and folds, that sort of thing, you'll need to go with an offset printer. And if you are an eco-conscious author and you have readership that are eco-conscious and you really want to print a book with eco-friendly paper and board and ink, if that's important to you, then you have a lot more options if you go the offset route. Then the third question is, do you have the funds up front to invest? Because you are ordering bulk print run, if you do need to have the finances available to you to be able to fund that print run. You do make a higher profit margin for every book that you sell. So it is great if you have the funds that you can take advantage of that economies of scale. But if you don't, you could also look at crowdfunding. Many of our clients do Kickstarter campaigns where you're probably familiar with Kickstarter, where people pledge a certain amount of money and that covers some or all of the cost of your printing. And then when you get your books printed, those folks are the first ones to get your printed book. So that could be an option for you. One word of caution about going the crowdfunding route is that you do want to be strategic in terms of the dollar target you set for yourself, because you only get the funds if you hit your target. So just be aware of that.
Just on a quick note about that, there are other crowdfunding sites that don't operate that way. Kickstarter is the most popular one, but you can go to like GoFundMe, Give, Send, Go. There are a lot of them out there, and some of them will give you the money regardless of whether you hit a goal. And they're a lot easier to set up than Kickstarter. So do some homework about which platform you decide to use.
Good idea. Good. Thanks, Tammy. Okay, so that's kind of the pros and cons of offset and POD. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of clarity. And then we're going to move into the fun part. So now we'll talk about what's possible when you offset print your book. And I'll use some of our client examples to show you, maybe just to inspire you or give you a sense of what you could do to really make your book shine. So this is the first book I want to show you. It doesn't really show great on the screen, but it's humongous. It's an oversized 11 by 17 book. It is a piece of art. It's so beautiful. We worked with Angelia Donahue on this book. Carol, our VP of print production, probably spent almost a year with her, helping her create this beautiful book. And you can't, I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but it's covered in glitter on the front. The pages are, each page has, actually, it's probably closer up there. Each page has a little bit of glitter. It's got Easter eggs hidden on the pages. It's really spectacular. She designed it this size because she wanted children to open a book and feel like they were part of the story, and that when you're reading this book with multiple children, each of the kids can touch and feel and really see the illustrations. So it's quite spectacular. And she was so appreciative of our help at the end. When she launched her book, she actually sent Carol, her book is called The Blessing Ball, and she sent Carol a necklace with the blessing ball on it as a thank you for helping her create that book, which is very sweet.
Lori, when we're all finished today and doing the Q&As, let's have you share that so we can all see it really big.
Okay, yeah. And then this is a landscape book. So when you say landscape, it's like the width is longer than the height. And so that's a kind of like an example of a landscape book with spine binding. And POD has trouble with this. Tammy probably can explain it better than me, but I think it has it has to do with their mission is to kind of print books as cost effectively and as fast as possible. And this involves more trimming, and the trimming can maybe become disaligned when you're trying to print a landscape book versus a standard size book. So
only Ingram Spark offers one size of a landscape book, and KDP doesn't offer one at all for children's books.
And then eco-friendly materials. So these are some options that we provide. Other offset printers may also provide them. One is the Forest Certified Council paper. So that's an industry badge that shows that your paper was harvested and produced through responsibly managed forest paper. So it's an industry standard book, and it comes in a lot of different types of recycled paper that you can choose from. So it's a nice badge to put on your book to show that you are cognizant of the environment and you did use responsibly managed manufacturers to print your book. We do a lot of that FSC paper, but we also are really big fans of Kohler paper. They're a German company, and they produce paper with It's all recycled from 100% raw material, recycled material, and the board and the paper are very good quality, excellent color for board, lots of different color options, and we're big fans of them. Esca Board is also an amazing organization company that we work with for boards, and it's out of the Netherlands, and they're kind of blazing the trail when it comes to sustainable production of paper. And again, it's all 100% recycled paper. They use steam and very zero waste management. So they claim their tagline is lay flat, stay flat. So we really love the fact that it's a eco-friendly material, but it's also excellent quality. Your board books and cover board does not warp or peel with that product. Soya ink. Water-based soya ink is another option. All of our books are made with soya ink, but other offset printers might also offer that. Water-based aqueous gloss and matte finish is also an eco option that is available to you, along with tree-free bamboo paper, which is kind of a neat talking point for your book. It's bamboo grows very quickly, so it's a nice alternative to tree-based paper. And this is an example of a book we did for Lucy Noland. She runs Archimedes Publishing. She prints most of her books with us, and she chose us, but way back years ago because of the eco-friendly options. This book is made with bamboo paper, soya ink, an Esca board cover, and one of the reasons that she chose us way back when was because of our relationship with Trees for the Future. So each year we plant thousands of trees with this nonprofit organization, and it aligns really well with her own mission to to protect pets and the planet. And this is also Lucy's book, and it's an example of a branded end sheet. So you can go crazy with the end sheets. It's great to extend your artwork. You can promote your eco-friendly materials on your end sheet, or include client testimonials. There's a lot of options when you can brand the end sheets.
Lori, this is your 15-minute notice.
Oh my gosh.
Keep going, girl. This is great stuff. Just wanted you to know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, dust jackets, same thing. You can put, you can develop your characters and storylines on the dust jackets, and so they don't just protect your book. There's a lot of branding opportunities there and ways to differentiate your book. Materials, gloss and matte laminate cover are definitely the most popular for children's books, but you could also do linen covers, vegan leather, York, cork, bamboo. Finishes, coated and uncoated paper are possible with offset. UV spot gloss, Tammy was showing you examples of that. That's very popular with children's books and really adds a nice gleam to the cover of your book. Other popular offset finishes are gold foil, which is this book. This is a great example of gold foil. You can see that the magenta, the title is in gold foil, and the eyes kind of glow. So that's kind of fun if that's something that you're looking for to make your book really sparkle and shine. Embossing and debossing, don't do so much of that with children's books, but with yearbooks and novels, definitely is kind of a neat decorating treatment. And then I wanted to feature Sherry, because Sherry is, we've been printing with her for 14 years. She's published 14 books with us actually over the last 14 years. And a few years ago, she came to us and asked if we did glow in the dark ink. And we hadn't at that time, but we worked with her and we figured out a way of creating a glow in the dark ink book. And it is so cool. We have a reel of it on our Instagram account at MCRL Print. So you could see as you're flipping through the pages, the ink is glowing. It's really awesome. So it's really fun. We love challenges. So we love when authors come to us and ask us if we can do certain things. And even if we can't, we'll never say no. We'll always look into it. In most cases, we can actually make it happen for you. So I thought that was a neat example of that. This is a book that just launched this month, and it has pattern gilding. So the edges are patterned, which is very cool. It matches sort of the peacock's feathers. It's beautiful. You can do metallic gilding. You could do text on the gilding. You can match up colors to your cover design. Fold outs are kind of fun. You could do like yeah, this is a cookbook, but there's lots of opportunities that you could do with your own story to fold out and make a much larger illustration. Custom mailers are having a moment for sure. This is a beautiful example of a custom mailer. And if you were to use a storage and fulfillment partner to partner with, then this is a great option because they will, as they fulfill your order, they just slap the mailing label on the front of your mailer box and send it out. But they came to us and this is actually the Kickstarter campaign, and they exceeded their target. They made more money than they had set, and so they had a bit of extra funds to add on a mailer and to do the gold foil. It's a spectacular book with like illustrated end sheets, 120-pound coated paper. Beautiful. It's a work of art, really. It's gorgeous. So I just wanted to show you the idea of doing add-on mailer boxes. You could also do book sleeves if you got a series of books and you wanted to bundle them up into a gift set. Magnetic closure boxes are a really nice, elegant gift box idea, or telescopic boxes you can brand, and they're a nice way of protecting your book. Bookmarks, sticker sheets, perforated coloring pages would be very cool for a children's book. Snap-ins are awesome. We do a lot of these with our custom journals and planners. The only restriction is you do need a spiral or wire binding, which isn't typical for a board book, but what the hell? Heck, I mean, it's great to think of different ideas, and anything's possible when you go the offset route. So when I say wire or spiral, it would be something like this, which we did for Flip and Flow. They're a wellness company, and they've taken like board stock card sets, and we've created this little, it's like a calendar really, and the cards kind of flip and flow, and it comes in a custom book box. They've won a number of innovative awards for that design. And then board books. So it's a whole genre on its own, and there's so much you can do with board books. It's a lot of fun. You can do cutouts. Kids love seeing what's behind the door. You can do sound books, pop-ups, and pop-ups, you especially want someone who knows what they're doing, because there's a lot that can go wrong if you don't have it designed and published properly. Padded covers, squishy covers, even squishy books like bath books are possible. Tactile textures, so flock and different kind of fabrics and textiles that you can really create that immersive experience for kids that they love. And board books don't even just have to be for kids. We did this board book for an ad agency to promote their brand guide, and the board books flip and flow, and as you flip the pages, it shows different uses of their font. And I really like how, I hadn't ever seen this before on a board book, but they've used like an embossed font on the spine, which really looks lovely. Card sets, again, you can extend your brand and product line into card sets, educational cards and different textures and different decorating. Match up the Pantone to your book colors. We even have sourced, a card set holder there. And then custom projects, so educational kits. We have partners all over Asia, and we can source like stuffies and different pieces if you want to put something together into an educational set. It can be kitted and labeled at the facility and sent out. So that was a lot, and hopefully you got a few neat ideas there for what's possible, some inspiration. And then to round things out, I'm just going to walk you through a checklist on kind of the things to think about if you go the offset route and you're evaluating various vendors. So if you're new to this, you don't know what you don't know, and really trust your gut. If a price seems much lower than others, then that can be a red flag that maybe there's some fine print that they're not including things like the customs and duty charges, or even handling the logistics and shipping, which you definitely want an expert doing that, especially in these times right now, to make sure that your book arrives on time and isn't held up at the border. So think about that. Think about maybe if this is your first book, price is important, but speaking to someone that can really provide some best practices and recommendations to you, and that you can have a relationship with and guide you through the process might be just as important as the price. Having someone that you can talk to in English that understands so that there's no miscommunication. Printing is pretty fussy, and so you definitely want to be able to feel like you have a good rapport with the printer that you choose. And then if it is a repeat run, then you're going to want to make sure that the quality of your second run is as good or better than what you currently have. And so sending your book to the printer to make sure they can match up the color might be important to you, or asking them to send you a sample that matches your specs so that you can compare their quality to your current quality. The checklist. So these are the 5 things that you should look at when you're comparing quotes. Look at the duties, customs, and tariffs. Make sure they're included. If they aren't included, then ask them what the price will be, and get them locked in, because that can change and you don't want to be on the hook. Delivery to door versus port. So delivered duty paid, DDP, that means that the book is being delivered to your home address, not to the port. Many printers will, in their quotes, they will have your order sent to the port, and then you're on the hook to get the order from the port through ground transportation to your door, and that can really add up. The other thing, make sure the customization is itemized. So if it's gold foil or a pop-up book, or any other kind of customization that you have, that they've itemized that, and that the material description. So if it's Escaboard or FSC paper, make sure that's laid out. And then the final thing is your proof. One physical proof, even if it's not included in the quote, I highly recommend you even paying extra to get a physical proof that you can flip through and make sure that your book looks exactly as you want it to, because your files can look fine on screen, but then when it's printed and bound, there could be some things that are a little bit off that you don't really notice until you're actually feeling it and flipping through it. And it's peace of mind for you, and it's peace of mind for your printer. And you've spent so much time writing your story and getting the illustrations. You want to have a book that really meets your vision, and you don't want to be disappointed with issues. So get a physical proof. This is an example of our quote. Every quote from a different printer will be different, but I just wanted to show you what it might look like. And then turnaround times. So I can't speak for every offset printer, but I'm guessing they're all about the same, 8 to 12 weeks. So important to understand the different steps in the process and backward schedule, so that your book arrives, if you have a drop dead date, that you give yourself lots of cushion time. And then to wrap it up, these are our tips, which are basically kind of reinforcing Tammy's tips. So our first tip to you would be to find a professional children's book designer who's experienced with preparing files for offset printing. Tammy is awesome, awesome, awesome. Highly recommend her. We also have some other wonderful professionals who we worked with that we know do a good job on our website there. And a professional layout and formatting will increase the sellability of your book and just save you so much time, tears, and frustration. So it's definitely worth the cost to go that route. A question we're often asked is, can I create my book in Canva? Canva is awesome. I love it for social media and creating marketing materials. It's amazing. It's not as amazing for printing your book. The way your files are exported is not conducive to an offset press. So we highly recommend that you use Adobe InDesign or Photoshop, and hire a professional. And if you don't, then use these tools over Canva. Carol, who's our VP of print production, I don't think she's ever had a file come in through Canva that has been good to go, that's been print ready. She's had to tweak or in some cases even rebuild files, which would be a real pain. The second tip I have for you is to connect with your printer personally first. So jump on a call with them, talk to them, ask some questions. Their responsiveness and knowledge will be a good indicator if you feel comfortable going with them, and what the customer service is going to be like for that relationship. And then get their templates early, as Tammy mentioned. Every printer will have their own template, and the earlier you can get those to your designer, the more time that you will save in the whole process. So that's the end. So you don't really need to know it all when you have people that you trust and the right team on your side, as Tammy mentioned, then it can be a really positive experience self-publishing your book and doesn't have to feel as daunting as it might when you're trying to do it all on your own. So I think the last slide I have here is someone had asked about the slides. So if you go to this this URL, you can download our slides from there, and you can grab our 101 Children's Book Guide to Printing. And if you do place an order with us, all of the webinar registrants are eligible for a 3% overrun. So you'll get 9 extra author copies for every 300 books that you order, so that you can use those for your promotions and marketing and giveaways and that kind of thing. And that's it.